By now, we all know the story of Wrexham. Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds purchased the non-league Welsh team and are well on their way to making them one of the biggest teams in England. But in today's video, I'm taking over Wrexham for 10 seasons. I'm going to climb the ladder of English football with them and win as many trophies as possible. But every season, I'm going to spin this wheel and this will dictate how many transfers I'm allowed to have every single season. So this is the team I've started with, and I won't lie, I haven't got a clue who any of these players are at all. However, there are a couple of standouts like O'Connell at the back, we've got Lee at the centre midfielder position, and also Mullen up top. But when you take a look at the team as a whole with the subs bench and the reserves, there's so much work that needs to be done. We also have 3 million to spend in the first season. However, that could mean nothing because we haven't spun the wheel yet. Okay, here's the moment of truth. As long as we don't land on zero, I think we should be okay. Okay, it looks like we're starting off with 2 transfers this season. With 3 million to spend, I think we can certainly make this work. Now, the first thing we need to do is figure out the formation because there's no way I'm using 5 at the back. One thing I've noticed about this Wrexham side is there's no wingers at all, so any formation with a winger in it is out of the question. I think personally the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow could certainly come in handy with this team. Now that we sorted the formation out, we need to figure out which positions to buy for. Now our 2 oldest players are Rob Layton and Mark Allen. They are both keepers, so I think bringing in a younger keeper would definitely come in handy. On top of that, the weakest link in this team is our left back, so I think if we bring in a goalkeeper and a left back, it will massively improve the quality of this squad. But with 3 million, it's definitely going to be a difficult task. And our first signing is youngster Rafael Hornos, who only cost us $500,000, 17 years old, and I think he'd be a perfect addition. The next player we're going to try and sign is New Zealand fullback Sam Sutton. It's only 20 years old, he's almost already better than any defender we've actually got. This is going to be tricky. I'm going to try and be cheeky and get him for 900,000. Let's see what they say. And that's a done deal. They're happy with that. All we have to do now is sort out the player negotiations. And it's a done deal. Sam Sutton, welcome to Wrexham. So after those 2 transfers, the team's shaping up like this. Now, are we going to get promotion? Probably not, but hopefully we can have a pretty respectable finish in League 2. And we got more than respectable. We finished 3rd, meaning we've got promotion to League 1 in only Season 1 of this takeover. What a start. And we made it to the quarters of the FA Cup. This has been a great season. What did I tell you about Mullen, man? This guy is a baller. So after Season 1, our top goal scorer is Mullen, running away with it at 32 goals, and our top assister is actually Sam Sutton, the fullback, with 10 assists, and obviously we've won no trophies. But did you guys know I'm pushing for 10,000 subscribers? So if you hit that subscribe button right now, that would be amazing. So let's start this season off by finding out how many transfers we're allowed to make this season. Last season we had 2. Hopefully we can get more than 2, and it doesn't look like we're going to get 2. It looks like we're going to get 1 transfer to make this season, which has just made our debut in League 1 all that much harder. So with us only having 1 transfer to make this season, I think we're going to focus on the midfield. O'Connor and Cannon actually look pretty decent. It's just Jones that's letting the midfield down. And we've got 6 million to spend on 1 player. That actually doesn't sound too bad. So the player I'm actually opting for is German centre midfielder Sydney Rabergar from Griffith Firth. We're going to offer Firth 1.5 million, and hopefully that will be enough. They want 4% silent clause. Happy days. And it's confirmed he is officially a Wrexham player. I think I'm going to play him as a cam. He's got decent stats for that role. He's got decent pace, decent passing, pretty decent dribbling. I think he'd be perfect. And it only takes 2 weeks to convert into a cam, so I think this is a win-win. But we've still got 5 mil left, and we can't spend a penny of it on this team. That wheel has absolutely shafted us. I'm quite curious to see how this team does, because last season I thought we weren't going anywhere near promotion, and we got it anyway, so maybe we could go 2 for 2. So at the end of Season 2, we finished 1 point outside of the playoff position, man. You gotta be joking me. I mean, when it comes to goal difference, Sheffield Wednesday absolutely battered us, but 1 point, man. How unlucky can you get? We got no trophies again, but we did reach the quarters of the Papa John's trophy, which is something at least. But Mullen, man, once again, absolutely carrying this Wrexham side. And what a signing. Rabergar turned out to be 6 overall growth. What a baller. So after 2 seasons, Mullen remains the top goal scorer, Sutton remains the top assister, but we are still trophyless. Entering Season 3, we're not in the worst position in the world. Obviously, we're still in League 1, but the team is actually looking pretty solid, if you ask me. It's just a couple of positions on this team that need improving, and I reckon we've got promotion in the bag this time. We've also got 6 million to spend, but this means nothing without spinning the wheel. This time, not 1 transfer, not 2 transfers. Please, for God's sake, give us more than that. It looks like our luck has just turned, and it looks like we are allowed 3 transfers this time. Thank God. But we do only have 6 million, remember, so we're going to have to be smart about this. One position more than any that needs improvement is our right back. He's definitely the weakest link out of the back 4. I also, again, want to bring in another centre midfielder because Lee is the weakest out of the bunch too. And I'd like to bring in another striker because Mullen is doing everything on his own up top, and I think he needs some help. Now, I said I wanted a striker to partner up with Mullen, and I think I found found our guy, Nicolo Tresoldi. He only cost us 1.6 million as well. And I aren't done yet as I've just signed Casper Winther for 2 million. And our last player is actually going to be a free agent, Leon Semic. Got decent stats at only 20 years old and he's 67 rated, so I think it's a bargain. And now the team actually looks pretty solid, and if we finished 7th last season, then hopefully this season we can get into the championship. Well, it isn't happening this time because we finished 9th in League One. We finished 2 places lower than we did last season with a much better side. How does that make any sense? Our season was that bad. Our best achievement was making it to round 2 of the Papa John's Trophy. I'll say this though, Tresoldi had a phenomenal debut season, outscoring our top goal scorer Mullen. But Mullen remains the top goal scorer overall, as well as Sutton remaining our top assister overall, and we still remain trophyless. We're going to start this season by spinning the wheel. Last season we got very, very lucky. Oh my god, it doesn't look like we're going to be lucky this time. Are we? Oh my god, we're not allowed any transfers this season. The wheel has absolutely shafted us. The only good news about that is that we've got players in this team that can still grow a massive amount this season. The likes of Tresoldi, Rieberger, Winther and Sutton, just to name a few. My only concern is Hayden and O'Connell are probably too weak to get us into the championship, but time will only tell. And at the end of season 4, surprisingly enough, we've actually topped League One. We are going to the championship as champions. And we actually made it to the Papa John's Trophy final, but we lost to bloody Peterborough. We're still trophyless 4 seasons in. But my god, would you take a look at some of the stats this season, man. Mullen once again reclaiming that title as the top goal scorer, but what a season from the boys. And ending season 4 with 103 goals, Mullen is still our top goal scorer and Sutton is still our top assister, and we still have no trophies. Okay, last season we weren't allowed to spend any money on any transfers. Hopefully this, okay, we got, okay, we can sign 2 players this season. That is perfect for what I want to do. I think you know where that money's going. We're spending it on our defence. And as I was looking for a centre-back, I stumbled upon youngster Ashley Phillips from Everton, who only cost me 2.9 million. And I've just found this guy, Fabio Chiarodi, the Italian's only 21 years old. He's got some pretty solid stats too. And after the new players have been added to the squad, the team looks like this. Obviously, the midfield definitely does need a bit of work next season if we're actually allowed to make signings. But for now, hopefully, this team is enough to get back-to-back promotions. We've reached the end of season 5 and things look pretty promising. We haven't gone up automatically, but we finished in a playoff position, so there's a slight chance we could still get promoted to the Premier League. We faced off against Sunderland in the semi-final and we got past them just about on penalties. So the question is, have we got promoted to the Premier League or are we still in the Championship? Oh, we're in the Premier League. Back-to-back promotions, you'll love to see it. And it's fairly easy to see how we've done it. Take a look at the stats from the boys. What a season they've had. But I'm gutted to say it looks like Paul Mullen's coming to the end of his career. And at the end of season 5, Mullen remains our top goal scorer with 127 goals, while Sutton still remains our top assister, but we still have no trophies in our trophy cabinet. We're now in season 6 and this is our first time in the Premier League with Wrexham. And it's obvious where we need improvement. The CDM needs improving, the centre midfielder needs improving, and on top of that, we definitely need a better goalkeeper. We've been given more money, 30 million in total, but we definitely needed more than that this season. But let's go see how many transfers we're allowed to make. I'm actually begging, please, for the love of God, wheel, don't shaft me. Okay, 2. Oh, we could have done with 3, but I'll definitely settle for 2 transfers this season. First signing of the 2 that I was allowed, I brought in centre midfielder from Borussia Dortmund, Abdullah Kamara, for 8.1 million. And I've just spotted this player, Obed Vargas. He's a centre midfielder who plays for Seattle Sounders. I think he'd be a great addition. And with the new additions, the team looks a little bit like this. That wheel has really been shafting us of late. But the question is, do we have enough quality in this squad right now to save us from relegation? We're now at the end of season 6 and we have just about survived the Premier League. 2 points clear of the relegation zone. We finished 17th. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy we survived, but we've got to do better than this next season. And honestly, the reason why we stayed up is very clear. Tresoldi had a season of a lifetime. And Mullen is ending his absolutely incredible career at the end of this season. What an absolute baller. And even though he's retiring, Mullen is still the top goal scorer, Sutton is still the top assister from the fullback position, and we still have no trophies. We're now into season 7 and we're in a little bit of trouble. After Mullen's retirement, we've only got 1 good striker. On top of that, the team's actually bang average at best. As well as that, we've only got 19 million to spend regardless of how many transfers we're actually allowed this season. And speaking of transfers, let's see how many we're actually allowed to make this season. Okay, we're allowed to make 3 transfers this season. That could have gone a hell of a lot worse than that. Now, I have a little idea to get around this striker situation. I think if we go to a 4-2-3-1 wide wide variation, have him as a lone striker, it would work perfectly. On top of that, Vargas has been converted to a right midfielder, so all we need is a left midfielder and we can make this work. The first signing that we made was absolutely huge as we brought in veteran goalkeeper Courtois for only 5 million. And obviously due to the lack of funds, I've gone into the free agents list and I've spotted two pretty decent players, Harry Wilson and Daniel Jimenez, and they're both wingers and they can both do a pretty decent job. And with those signings added to the squad, I'm a little bit more confident that we can get a better position than 17th this time. Well, it's safe to say we did a lot better than 17th. This season, we finished 5th in the Premier League, which is an absolutely incredible achievement. We finished above the likes of Manchester City, Newcastle United, Leicester City, and Spurs, for God's sake. And not only that, we've now got European football for Season 8, which is absolutely incredible. We also came so close to silverware. We got knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the semis by bloody Brentford. Mullen definitely passed the torch to my man Tresoldi. What a season this man has had. And to be fair, Harry Wilson hasn't had a bad season either. And as season 7 ends, we have a brand new top goal scorer for Wrexham with Tresoldi with 149 goals. And we also have a brand new top assister with Winthet with 63 assists, but we still remain trophyless. We're now in season 8 and we are in a really good position. The formation change last season worked a treat. The players are looking amazing and we may actually get a trophy this season. And we've also actually been given a lot of money, 65 million to work with. Let's just see how many transfers we're actually allowed to make. I'm going to be honest, guys, as long as it isn't lower than 2, I really don't care. Oh my god, we may have just hit the jackpot. Please go to 4. Please go to 4. We are allowed 4 transfers in season 8. Come on! And the first thing that I wanted to do was improve the quality of our defensive lineup, which is why I've gone for centre-back Leonardo Sturgio for 27.5 million. The next player I wanted to bring in was more for squad depth. Hannibal Medri is a free agent and I'm snapping him up. And I still wasn't happy without the defence look, which is why I brought in fullback Alexandra Barr for 22.7 million. The new additions have been added to the squad and the team has genuinely never looked stronger than it has right now. I decided to convert Medri to a winger because quite frankly I think he's way too good to be a bench warmer. But I'm convinced season 8 is the season that this squad brings back silverware. Well, we've come to the end of season 8 and it is a very disappointing finish. We finished smack bang mid-table, and considering the fact we finished 5 places higher last season, I am so gutted about this. But remember, we did qualify for European football last season and we made it out of the group stage, which is a pretty decent start. Okay, round of 16. We made it past Augsburg, which is a very good start. We made it past Sevilla. We battered Sevilla 5-3, fair play. Semi-finals, we beat Athletic Bilbao. Boys, we made the final. Is this the first trophy we're going to win? Come on! Oh my god, you have no idea how long I've been waiting to say this. We have finally won a trophy. The same season we win our first trophy is the same season we win our second trophy. We have won the FA Cup. Granted, we beat Burnley in the final, but we got to play what's in front of you. And from these stats alone, it's so clear to see why we were so successful this season. And at the end of season 8, our top goal scorer and assister remain the exact same, but our trophy count has gone up by 2 because we won the FA Cup and the Europa League. So to start our season now, we are going to spin the wheel. It's been pretty kind to us as of late. Is it going to remain kind to us? I think it is. Are we going to get 3 or 4 we are getting 4 transfers in season 9. This wheel has been so good to us lately. So looking at the squad, I think I'm going to bring in a centre-back and I'm going to delve into the free agents because the squad depth that we've got is non-existent. But somehow, after winning the Europa League and the FA Cup, we've only been given 38 million. Wrexham, what's that about? The first thing I'm going to do is bring in a second-choice goalkeeper, and I think Emiliano Martinez is perfect for that role. I'm also bringing 2 players in solely for squad depth, Oye Cuevas and also Oscar Daniels, and I think personally they're just cheap and cheerful. And with those players added to the bench, the squad depth does look a lot better. But we've got 1 transfer left and I intend to use it. I've once again found the perfect player just in case we need to rotate the team, João Palhinha, and he is a free agent. And with all 4 of our transfers used up, the team now looks like this. Palhinha, surprisingly enough, actually slots straight into the team. But last season we got our first taste of silverware. Can we get even more at the end of this season? So in season 9, we actually finished 3rd in the Premier League. We have yet to win the Premier League. We now only got 1 more season to actually do this. By the way, what the hell got into Wolves this season? They went on a mad one. Add another trophy to that cabinet as we have got the FA Community Shield. I don't care what kind of trophy it is, that one I'm counting. Boys, we're on an absolute warpath this season. 3 trophies, the Super Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Community Shield. Okay, in the Champions League, we definitely made made it out to the group stage with absolute flying colours. In the round of 16, we beat Lazio 5-3 on aggregate. That's pretty decent. But in the quarter-finals, we absolutely get annihilated by Borussia Dortmund. That's a bit of the shame. Alongside the Premier League, this is a trophy I definitely want to win for Wrexham. It should come as no surprise that Tresoldi is the top goal scorer. He just does what he wants at this point. Ray Bigger had a good season. Vargas had a good season. Overall, this season has been by a mile the most successful one so far. And at the end of the season now, we still have the same top goal scorer and assister, but we have 3 more trophies to add to the trophy cabinet, adding up to 5 in total. We've now arrived into the final season of this takeover. There's only 2 trophies I haven't won with Wrexham, the Premier League and the Champions League, and we've got 1 more chance to win them. And I think if we get a better centre-back and a CDM, we've got a very good shot at making this happen. And we certainly have the money to spend 95 million in total, but it just depends on how many transfers the wheel will let us make. Quite honestly, I will settle for 2 transfers. If we can get 2 transfers, that would be amazing. It looks like we're going to get 3 though. We have got 3 transfers for our final season of this takeover. Let's make them count. The first player I'm going to try and sign is French centre-back Pierre Kalulu. He's 85 rated, 31 years old. I think he'll definitely do the job for us this season. Go and try offer them 31 million for his market value and see if this does the trick. They want 44.6 million. Are you having a laugh? We're going to bring this down. We're going to give him 35.5 million and see if that actually works this time. And there we go. Hoffenheim have agreed. All we have to do is sort the player negotiations out, and Kalulu is going to be a Wrexham player. And for that extra bit of quality in the midfield, we're going to go for Martin Zubamendi. We've only used 2 transfers, but I think this is the team that's going to win us not only the Premier League, but go all the way this time with the Champions League. But for the final time in this video, let's go to the end of the season and see how we got on. And unfortunately, in our last season of this takeover, we couldn't win the Premier League. We were 20 points behind Manchester United. I don't think we were anywhere near it. Could add another trophy to the tally though. We went on to win the Carabao Cup back to back. This is the last big trophy we can contend for. We didn't win the Prem, but we can still win the Champions League. We're in Group B, so we're into the round of 16 at least, where we face off against Inter. We beat them 3-2. We're into the quarters. We beat Barcelona in the quarters. This is unreal. Semi-finals, we beat Arsenal. Boys, we made it to the final. Could this be the season? Our last season in charge of Wrexham in this 10-season takeover. Have we won the Champions League? We've won the Champions League! Thank God for that. That's another trophy to the tally, and it's probably the biggest one we could win. And it's very unsurprising. Take a look at the stats for Season 10, man. These boys had an absolutely incredible campaign. Especially Tresoldi. What a player he turned out to be. On top of that, Sydney Raybiger went to 92 rated, and also Obed Vargas went to 88 rated. He was an absolute hidden gem in this takeover. And here are the final stats for our top goal scorer Tresoldi and our top assister Winther. We also went on to bag 7 trophies in this 10-season takeover, which is absolutely incredible, but with the next team, that is the target to beat. Make sure you leave a comment down below on what team you'd like me to do a 10-season takeover with next, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button right here, and also watch another video as well, because why not?